So today we are going to learn about use case diagrams, and we learned about this in class, but now we are going to learn about how to do it on Visual Paradigm, which is the free trial edition that you can use online that you can download if you need to, or this is what many businesses use that use these types of diagrammings for their IT work. So we're just going to go over a how-to really quickly, and then we're going to go more in depth on that as we walk through the process, and then we're going to pull up a scenario and work through it. So the how-to. First, we're going to need to find the actors, determine what they're doing, and then draw both of those things. This right here just gives you a little more detail about what you need to do, but that's just exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to pull up the scenario. This is a scenario we worked on in class, but I'm going to walk through it when we're on Visual Paradigm. So you open up Visual Paradigm, as I already have open, and you're going to click Diagram. You're going to do New, and then this is a whole list of all the diagrams that you could do on Visual Paradigm. Now we know that we just need to do a use case diagram, so we're going to click it, double click, and then we're going to name it. We're going to name this one Example. So if you're doing this in real life, you would name it what you needed to, but also what's nice, you can give a little description. So this can help, as I said, in the real world, passing it along to other people, or even using it in the development process. It can give you a little more description on exactly what it's going through. So knowing that we are doing a use case diagram, Visual Paradigm is nice, and it pulled up all the tools that you can use on a use case diagram. The other thing that's nice about Visual Paradigm is it really helps if you really don't know what you're doing. You can just hover over the exact thing and it'll tell you what it does, and it gives you a nice little definition about what that does. So first we're going to start out with the scenario, but we need to draw our system. So we just drag and drop and click, and then we just type in what we want to name it. So we're going to name this one Banking System just for right now, but you can just change it to whatever you need. The other nice thing is you can make it as big, as fat, skinny as you really need it to be for your system. So there's our system, and we're going to first, like I said, figure out who our actors are. So we figured out that our actor first is a user. So we're going to go over here and pull up, it says actor. We're going to click it and then drag and drop and just name it user. Now we're going to go through and we're going to make a customer. As we can see, that is what our next actor is in the system, so customer. And then we see here bank lending agent, and then lastly bank management. So we're going to add those last two in really quick. So and then we said bank management was our last one. So we're going to click it and drag and drop. As you can see, none of them are the exact same size, so we can just drag them around and make them as big and as little as we want them to be. It's really all up to you. You can even them out if you want them all in the same area. So it gives you a lot of nice tools on exactly what you need to do. So now we're going to draw the actions, which are also called use cases. So we're going to click up here on our use case and click it. And then we're going to drag and drop just like we did with the actors. It's a lot of drag and dropping with this system, so it's really easy for this program on how to do these things. So we know that the user over here stated that they need to log in. So that is our first action. Now, I like to connect them right away rather than drawing all my use cases, because if we draw all of our use cases, then we will not know what things need to connect in the end. We'll have to go back to our scenario, so it's easier if we just did it right there. So we're going to click, and for this one, we're really just going to use associations. So we're going to click the association and then hover over user and then drag it and hover it over to login. It's very easy and they connect super simply. So the next thing we see is that the system shall support customer checking accounts. So we're going to grab another use case, we're going to draw it, and we're going to do checking accounts. So we know that the customer is doing the checking accounts, not the user. So we're going to take our association and make sure we connect it to the customer this time. As you can see, the lines, you can move them where you want them to go. You can connect them and move them all around, but we want to make sure they stay in our system because that is exactly how we want to do. Along with this, you can give them bends in the system if you start having too much. So it's really easy and helpful tool. Next, we can see that a customer may request a deposit or withdrawal. So we're going to draw our action, we're going to type in deposit. Sorry. Now we can see that a receipt is generated from both the deposit and the withdrawals. So the customer, first, sorry about that, we need to connect deposit and withdrawals to the customer just like we did before, and they're connected. Now going back to the receipt is not coming from the customer. The receipt is coming from the deposit or the withdrawal. So we need to connect those. So first let's make an action where it says receipt. We're going to fix this so it's not so large, and we're just going to move it over. So we know that the receipt comes from the deposit or the withdrawal, so we're going to use this over here, and that just shows that they are coming from something. Now, you can see that the arrow, this one's a little different. You just click right here, and the receipt goes to the deposit or withdrawal. Now, the nice thing is you can double-click on any of these lines and start typing things in there. Now, associations do not need that, but extends do, and that's what we did for this. Extends means that it's coming from something to another. So the receipt extends that, because if a deposit or withdrawal happens, then a receipt's going to happen. That's how extends works. So that's simple, and now we're going to move on to this. A customer can submit a loan application. So we're going to make another use case for the customer, and we're going to drag and drop it, and we're going to do submit. As you can see, another nice thing is that if it's too large, it'll make the text so that it goes underneath, so you have more space for the exact thing. And we said that the customer can do that, so it's in a general association, and you just drag and click, and it makes it perfectly. So now we're going to move on to a bank lending agent can submit a reviewed loan application. So we're going to draw it again, and we're just going to do review loan application. And it did it again, it fixed it, and it's more of a circle, and we want it more like an oval, and that's just because we had it too big, so we just draw it back. It's the normal association again, so we just click, and click, and we have them connected. So, we have to think about this in a little more depth as IT people. So if someone submits a loan application, and then the bank lending agent is going to review the loan application, there has to be a way that the bank lending agent knows if there is a submitted loan application. So it would make sense that a bank lending agent would extend, or in this case, include the submitting of the loan application. So the submitting of the loan application also needs to include the bank lending agent. They might not be submitting it, but there needs to be some type of connection to those two. So this is when we use an include. So we grab that dependency relationship over here again, and we click that, and we go to the submitting of the loan. Now we're going to double click, and this one is an include relationship. We need to label them, because if we give this to someone else, they need to be able to know. So the bank lending agent needs to be included in that. So now we are going to go to the bank management, so receive monthly reports. So we're just going to go here. Oops, sorry, grabbed the wrong thing. We need to click on it. And another nice thing is you'll know if it's clicked on if it is highlighted over in this bar. So I'm clicking on it, dragging it, and I'm going to put reports. And then what the difference is with the use case diagram that we have is that bank management is the actor in this case, but are they the ones initiating the reports? And we think to ourselves, and no is the answer. Time is, because they're monthly reports. So first off, we name this round. We should name it monthly reports. And we know that time is. Time is the actor. In a use case, time can be an actor. So we're going to add a new actor in. Click the actor, and over here we're going to draw it in, and we're going to name it time. So as you can see, time is the actor. And we are going to make time connect to the monthly reports because time is what is making those monthly reports happen. But who needs to be included in it? It's kind of like the customer and the bank lending agent. The bank management needs to be included in those monthly reports because they are the ones that are receiving them. So we're going to just add that in there. We're going to double click the line again and do includes. Now this really ends up what it's going to look like. You can mess around with all of them to make it a little more cleaner, as you can see right now. The lines aren't really definite, but you just drag it and move it and it shows. If you get a more complex system, it's going to be very, very more cluttered up and it's going to look different. Another thing that could have been different is right here where it says it may request a deposit or a withdrawal. Some people might put these as two different things. We simply put it as one because a deposit and a withdrawal both need a receipt. But let's say it said in there that a deposit didn't need a receipt and a withdrawal did. Then we definitely need to do those separately because they both don't extend to the receipt. So for our terms, it's really easy. So as you can see, this is done. Now people are going to be like, how do you save this? What do we do next? So we just simply go to Project, and you just click Save. And it's going to bring it up, and we're just going to name an example, and save. And now it's done. So this is a simple way that you can do use case diagramming. As you can see, Visual Paradigm is a very easy tool. They have a community edition that is free on the internet for anyone that needs to use it. So if you want to play around more and do a couple other things, use case diagrams are a great way to start. You can go on the internet and find many different tools and techniques and ideas on how to do these because they've been around for a long time, but they still are very widely used in the world today. So I hope with this help that you will now know how to do a visual paradigm diagram. And you can do this for your school or you can do it for your business. Thank you.